Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. I'm still in French mode. Just about, only because I've just about sobered up. Episode 56, Ladies Wot Pod, hot off the press after a fantastic weekend in Paris, mainly, apart from about an hour of the rugby. But we'll come on to that more. So my name is Liz Saunders. I am chairman of the Saint Supporters Club, Chief Halo, General Rugby Geek, and welcome if my train neighbours off the Eurostar on the way to Paris have found us. Hello! And you are?
Claire Jones. I wasn't on a train to Paris. I drove. Well, I didn't drive. My IT department, lovely Dr. Jones, drove us from just north of Cambridge, where I live, all the way down to Paris. It was fabulous. I am the club photographer. I was there on Saturday with a different coloured bib, purple bib, because EPCR did not want me in a yellow one. That would be entirely wrong. I had to have a purple one, of course, which was annoying because I just put all my harnesses on. Anyway, so that there to go off again. And I, as I say, I'm the club photographer, one of a team of photographers. Only one there on Saturday. Usually seen with a red hat on my head. And what a weekend we had.
It was brilliant. It was classic Saints in Europe, I think. Well, actually, to be fair, it was a lot better than most of the Saints in Europe we've had. We were at least winning for the first quarter of the game, and we came away with a losing bonus point. And given that my description was, this is a team held together with sticky tape and hope, I don't think we did too badly, to be honest.
Yes. I mean, I walked into the ground to see a rather crestfallen Liz Tyler because she'd had the news confirmed about poor Finn and his man flu. His very, very bad man flu, quote Douse.
I can assure you.
The lens it didn't work, didn't it?
He's not a well boy. Not a well boy. Apparently, inside information, he's even lost his appetite.
So not even the smarter soup's going to work. Oh my lord! Oh well then, yeah, we've gone beyond man flu. Yes. So losing Finn and several other players, and of course we'd already lost. I mean, we seem to go through locks a bit like wingers. Do you remember last year we went through 3 wingers in about 10 minutes? We've done the same with locks, which resulted in the fabulous Ed Prowse.
Bless him.
Making his European debut. I can't imagine that Ed, at the beginning of this year,
in his wildest dreams,
thought he'd make his European debut in Paris as a lock, because he was a tight head prop until very recently, and he's in mid-conversion. He's actually playing really well in the championship. And scored a try the other day. So yeah, he is learning very, very fast. But to go into the cauldron of a European, I'm going to call it a European game. Sort this out.
Yeah, it's easier.
European game in Paris. Well done, Ed, for doing it. But there were lots of them making their European debuts. It wasn't just Ed, as you say. Finn Brown was making his European debut. Yeah. George Makepeace Cubic came on right at the very end. So, as you say, we could put a team together of those 11, 12 players who were ill, injured, and a couple that were rested. I believe Dingers and Joanno were rested.
Trocky.
So,
we'd actually got, with illness and injury, we've a rugby league team out. And then with Dingers and Trocky having to be rested, that makes a full 15 out.
Full 15
of pretty much first choice players. I mean, we're not
Sam Graham and Robbie and Alex Coles and Tamo and Chunya,
George Hendy and George Furbank.
To lose. But I think James Ram is going to be playing 47, he's got a number of roles. I did actually catch Mr Dependable in a photograph attempting to be in the front row.
Only a matter of time.
It was only a matter of time before Fergs got his evil way. There he was at the front of the mall doing Mr Dependable things. which of course they won the scrum from. Yeah, yeah. I said it. I said Fergs had a plan. So yeah, of course it was disappointing having gone so far ahead to then lose it. The line out.
Well, can I just say, at 21-0, my new best friends, the touch judges, were discussing how they were going to manage the Stad team because they could see a sort of cricket score ratcheting up. More on my new best friends, the officiating team, later. But yes.
My French is appalling, but even I could work out that there were one or two rude words going on in the huddle behind the posts because it was on my side of the pitch. So I don't think, and there was quite a lot of English being spoken as well amongst the Fijians.
Yes.
So yes, they were not happy campers with each other, and I think the proverbial boot up the backside between them burst them into life. But it was. They were brilliant tries. I mean, Henry's second try was wonderful, and I completely missed it because my camera decided no. I don't want to focus on the star of the moment. I want to focus on some random bit of turf that.
Oh,
yes. Is that what the? Yes. So probably operator error, but I'm going to blame the camera. So it goes in the vogue of missing Courtney scoring in Glasgow. You know, we all do it.
And didn't you miss one of Fremo's because he went into watercolour or something?
Yeah,
like
that's it. That was in the final.
Not that I'm going to remind you of these things ever.
Not. But I'm with the great and the good here because Dave Rogers admitted that he didn't get Mitch's try last week because he was too busy working on a previous try. So we've all done it. It's.
And can we just say, can I just have a word for poor Mitch, who had seemed to be rarely carded in his life. And I do think to have been caught up in the rotivator of them all, so he sort of spat out the end and then yellow carded for bringing it down, was a little harsh.
It did seem a bit harsh. He did look a bit crestfallen. It's like,
it looked like
blokes off. Why me?
Yeah. Why me? I didn't actually look. I'm only a scrub half. How can I bring it down? I fell over. They ploughed me through, and now I get a yellow card.
What's left of me has been peeled off the pitch. My God, that. So I actually walked out onto the pitch to do the huddle and whatever before the game kicked off. And muttered the words George H.B. Cubit, but from Chinner, George? Because we were up to our ankles in mud. There, it was the opposite here. It was like concrete.
Yeah.
I think Tom Lockett summed it up perfectly. He said, "It's the perfect carpet for your living room." I wasn't convinced by the colour, but I know what he meant. Yes, it was like concrete.
Well, somebody was commenting, was laughing to me because they said, "Why is Alex in tights when he's going to be running around? When on the train coming over, he's sort of in shorts and flip flops." I don't know if he was anyway. And I said, "It's not to do with the temperature, but he got horrific burns when they played at the Stonex once, and that's not happening again." So
no, and that pitch.
So anyway, poor old Mitch. Poor old Mitch. So he got stitched up for a yellow card last week, and he probably needed stitches after his yellow card this week. I mean, poor lamb. Let's hope.
It did seem very harsh. It did seem like he was taking one for the team there.
And Josh Kemney's yellow card, according to the BBC. Now, this is very intriguing because I don't know, why you'd be yellow carded for tackling your own player. So he was, according to the BBC, given a yellow card for tackling Tom Seabrook with no arms. Now, to be fair, if you are going to tackle your own player, you should rap. But I don't know that tackling your own player at all is an offence. So well done, the BBC. Either that, they know something about Tom Seabrook's movements that we don't.
Yes. That report was very bizarre on a number of fronts. But yes. We were flailing everywhere by then. It was not good. Yeah. The line out. Now, you see, I did think of you with the line out, and the thought of Morris dancing came to. And yes, the timing, was interesting. And, these things happen. These things absolutely happen. And when you've got people who have not played together regularly trying to do something really complicated as a line out. So, poor Henry Walker and then Curtis up, down, sideways. What was going on?
Yes.
And I did feel sorry for James Craig because he probably had a tough evening, what one thing and another. And Tom Lockett decided, I got the feeling at the end of the game he was going blow by blow through every line out. You can always see James going, stop, Tom, stop. This is one for the review. Give yourself
Can I stop you there? No, I can't stop you there, obviously. He's
gone again. He's gone again. Yes. So, and James very patiently, you could tell there was much nodding and reassurance that because it's fantastic. It's not uncommon before everybody thinks that Tom Lockett was doing something very unusual. It is really not uncommon for post-game there to be really intense conversations going on about particular aspects of what happened, even when we've won. It's not just when we lose that we decide. There are the players obviously have got it fresh in their minds, and they've got to get it out. It's like and off they go.
Yes,
It's not, as far as I've seen. I could be wrong. It's not usually instigated by the coaches who realise, take a moment.
They're trying to back off. They're statted up to the eyebrows at that point.
But they do. I mean, I bumped into Jake Sharp last week, writing. He actually told me a statistic about the number of kicks that happened in the last 5 minutes of the Bath game. It was extraordinary. And he was busily writing the notes down in his notebook because clearly he hadn't had time during that period of time to write down his notes. So, and I think it's fantastic that they, the attention to detail is such that these conversations are happening. Whatever, those on Facebook, those on X, those on whatever social media might think, they are professionals and they take this very seriously.
And to be fair, that stat pack was huge.
They were enormous.
Absolutely huge.
And they were really naughty. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure your new Bessie mates, the TMO and assistant referees, one of them could have
TMO
had a
was
word.
watching the Munster game.
The TMO wasn't watching, I couldn't possibly comment. One of them should have had a word with the captain, who, having argued about a try, I can't remember which one. It might have been Henry Walker's try. I think it was Henry Walker's try. Of them. Having argued about that.
Walked
lackadaisically walk a pass touch during the conversion. It's like, mate, bugger off and stand somewhere else. I mean, and also he ruined my photo because he walked straight through. It's like, oi, Herbert.
No, the funniest thing from the ref, and it wasn't the ref, to be fair, it was TMO and the touch judges who we were talking to quite late on after the game. Quite a lot of wine had been drunk. They referred to that second row, that lock, and he was huge, who scored the try, surprised himself by charging Hutch down and then having to run about 3 metres, but that nearly killed him, as the Dutch darts player. It was all going so well, they said, till the Dutch darts player scored. And to be honest, he had a build more akin to a darts player.
Well, the thing is, now you said that to me, whenever I was working on his photographs of him, because he's in the photographs of people who have seen them of Tom Litchfield on the account.
Yes,
I
being chased down by the Dutch.
I now have this sort of Dutch voice in my head of him shouting after Tom Litchfield, which of course is probably entirely wrong. But anyway,
South African, but it doesn't really matter. Don't let facts get in the way of it.
But anyway.
But yes, so when he scored his try from not very far out and collapsed in a heap, they described it. So he's there like a beached fish gasping for breath. And all his mates are coming round. He's trying to wave them away because he needed the air. Tales from the touchline.
Oh dear. Didn't happen to Mr Lockett when he scored.
No,
which was a very nice try. Anyway,
Yes.
so yes, lots of injuries. They gave it a crack, and they scored the 4 tries. In fact, they scored more than 4 tries. They scored 5.
Yes, they did.
Which meant we got a try bonus point. And because Munster beat Saracens in Thomond Park, no, it's really hard to beat them in Thomond Park, isn't it? Because Saracens lost at Thomond Park, we're exactly where we were when we started the weekend, which is top.
Yeah.
And at the moment, and at the end of round 3, we're in 4th place in the ridiculous table that they produce, which means that we've got a home quarter final. Now, it's all to play for because everything could change if we lose to Munster. Now, I hate to upset anybody, but just to amuse myself, I looked at the table and thought, I wonder who that means we're playing. Now, if I work it out right, top place.
Be Munster again, will it?
No, Castra.
Oh, Lord. Why they've got? I thought they were going to. Oh, Lord. Oh, well, that'll be fine. They won't be interested.
Yeah, but it's all subject to change.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, we will be at home for the round of 16, it looks like.
Oh, that's good.
And at the moment, we have a home quarter as well, which is exactly what we had last year. So
yeah.
If we continue in the same vein. So
yeah. That business, I did say some a lovely gentleman at the end of the game who may or may not have been Hutch's dad. I'm not sure. I was very confused by everybody at the time. Came bouncing up to me and said, "Munster beat Sarries, which means we've qualified." And I went, "No, you had me at Munster beat Sarries, to be honest."
It was actually Sherpa 2 who told me, because, of course, I got no idea what was going on. When he was. So there's been some sort of grumblings of discontent over what happened at the end of the game. Believe me. So there are a few things that happened at the end of the game, which I have to say, one of them makes me incredibly sad. Which is, it always used to be the tradition that you applauded the opposition off the pitch.
Yeah.
As far as forever. It doesn't matter whether it's minis or grown-ups.
Yeah. They're taught that right from...
whatever.
Yeah.
There seems to be a vogue with the French teams like, I can't bother with that. So up comes the EPCR advertising hoarding. Up comes this. They're all applauding each other. Loads of people in purple bibs that I hadn't seen before the game appeared. Absolute chaos in the middle of the pitch. And you can see our lads are like, is it going to be should we... Is the
tunnel happy tunnel thing? Oh,
sod it. Let's have a huddle. So that makes me sad that tradition seems to be dying out in certain quarters. So they had the huddle, and there were several of them spoke, including a very animated Curtis. That was a first for me. I hadn't seen that before. I was expecting to see Josh Kemeny utter some words. And when his mouth wasn't moving, I was thinking, I'm hearing words, but where they're coming from? As I looked along, there was Curtis in full flight. Josh did speak once. He'd managed to get a word in edgeways with somewhat animated.
Wrestle Curtis to the ground. Shut up.
But yes, so they did have their huddle, and then they attempted to go around the pitch. Now, by now, two things started to happen, one of which has to happen, which is the warm down for those who haven't played enough minutes when they came off the bench. So Archie McParland was attempting to run from the halfway line to the end zone and back again, suddenly to find that he had Ealing Trailfinders under 18s in front of him. So they had to go the other way around the pitch. Yes, Archie was very confused, but he wasn't alone. There were several of them that had to do that. Obviously, the players started to go round the pitch. The families were in the... there were several lots of supporters. There were some families, and they were trying to get round. And, of course, it just dribbled into chaos, basically. The ultras, for Stade Francais types, were at the far end, and they were banging their drums. Oh, God, those drums.
Those drums, oh my God.
Well, I don't mind drums, but it would be good if they played with some sense of rhythm at the far end. So, yeah, they were doing their thing. And it was all just, I hid in the dugout. I just decided I can't work. I took some photographs of the players applauding the supporters and saying hello and having selfies. And then I retreated to sit in the dugout to take my gear apart. So I think cut them some slack. It was a very confused situation. There was another game about to kick off. There were TV cameraman. Everything. I mean, it was not like a normal post game. It was very, very bizarre.
And to be honest, I mean, I don't know how you were able to watch that second game, because the stand where we were they cleared, they're coming along and saying, you've got to leave, and pushed people out, almost literally pushed people out to the sides and through the exits. So I don't know how you were able to watch that game. It was
on the match scheduled to be a game to be watched. Yeah, it was all very, very weird.
Very strange. So, I mean, the French, they're a bit weird like that. They get efficient. And when they get efficient, it goes into overdrive. So I suspect as well the players were being equally stewarded off the pitch and rounded up to go. So it was all very strange.
It was. Sorry, I'm just going to shut my phone up. There we go.
Okay. And it has happened in the past where the players have gone straight down the tunnel and not come to thank us when we have travelled to France and been bloody humiliated, and they've not come out to thank us. So don't say it was just happened in the past. It hasn't.
But it didn't work that way. They were trying to say thank you, but it was just
trying to say thank you.
Hutch was running a bit like Cold It's Like, trying to get round. He was probably the man who got furthest, but even he didn't make it all the way round. So I think the one thing we can say about this squad is they are the friendliest, most accessible,
the most engaged.
Yeah. They realise that people pay a lot of money to come and watch them. They shout and they love the fact that everybody sings. So you talk to any of the players, they appreciate the support. In fact, more than appreciate the support, they realise how vital it is to the success of everybody involved.
They are absolutely. They really are. They engage. I was going to say, so happily with the supporters, and they'll almost volunteer engagement. They don't necessarily wait to be approached.
No, absolutely. Only recently, George Hendy, who was hood up.
Yes,
being George.
We did have a plan.
Was walking behind me at the gardens, and one of the guys who's in a really complicated wheelchair, it's really high tech, I want to push some buttons. His mum spotted him. George, the hood's not working, and she waved him over and said, "Please come and say hello, if you don't mind." And he said, "No, I'd be delighted to." And so spent some time with the chap in his wheelchair. So absolutely, George was, probably heading off to corporate at the time, but absolutely took the time, spent some time chatting with the chap and his mum. So, and that was during a game. George obviously wasn't playing because that would have been inappropriate. But, people, absolutely, the guys, even when they're not expecting it, will spend time with supporters. Yeah. So, let's just understand the situation. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill either. But
we did have a cunning plan to try and use George Hendy as a decoy to empty the bar so we could get in and get served. When I say we, I'm including his parents making that cunning plan.
Yeah, come on, George. Help the two of them. Yeah.
Do the stuff for the family. Come and stand here so people will come talk to you and we can get in the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I would like to say is I think that stadium is the best stadium in France to work at. Now, I haven't worked in all of them, but I mean, apart from the rather bizarre, there's no red line for those of us who've worked in France before. It used to be you had to stand behind the red line or the lightning would stand up. There's no red line or anything like that, as long as you stay behind the balls. And in the case of the club photographer, you don't even need to do that. You can wander around. Not that I did. Access was fantastic, but the floodlights. So Father Christmas, could we get, Christy and the team some lovely floodlights, just like Stade Francais, Stade Jean Bouin's floodlights, because they are
very bright,
amazing, absolutely amazing. I was sat there going, but it's January and it's late and it's dark, and I'm, as you could just, if you look at my photos. It mint. Absolutely mint.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Though I did laugh about EPCR and the bib.
Yeah, I was going to say the supporters, the Stade Français supporters, were lovely as well. They had a little stall, a little bijou stallette outside of the ground where they gave us galette, which is that sort of apple pie type thing, and glasses of and mugs of cider, and they were so friendly and so nice. So that was lovely. So.
I did feel sorry for them because there weren't many of them, were there? I mean, relative. I mean, 26,000 ground, and there were 14,000. Rent-a-mob seemed to be every school child in the area had been swept up. A vision that the child catcher had gone round. You will go to the rugby match. Yes.
So, it was just shy of 15,000 there, and I reckon a good 4,000 of those were Saints supporters.
Ooh! Oh, you've come up with the biggest number I've heard so far. Interestingly,
I think so.
Interestingly, I could only hear. So I was sat in my usual. I was quite close to where you were in the first half, but I could only hear people on the right of me singing. I couldn't hear you guys on the left.
Was your hearing aid turned up?
Oh, you cheeky person! Yes, I got my hearing aids, and they were on stadium setting, but I could only hear.
Oh, come on! You're seriously telling me you couldn't hear me?
No, I couldn't.
Well, then I think it must be your hearing, because
I could hear Curtis. Anyway,
yes. Talking of Curtis, how long had he been on the pitch?
Oh, I reckon about 60 seconds before the fight kicked off. Bless his cottons. He was an angry young man. Yes. Anyway,
he was very angry,
frustrated as I spoke to him afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, that's
as they all were.
Well, you could see the frustration growing, because he was sort of just below us where we were, and you could see the frustration growing. And I'm thinking, unleash the Curtis.
That's basically what I said to Dr. T. Yes. Yes.
Bless.
Well, there we go.
So there we are. So there we are. Match, then.
No harm done. Oh, actually, no, there is one thing, and I thought it was very good of him to make the offer.
Oh, yes, do. Yeah.
So Lizzie Goodchild was letting the world know that poor Finn had, that terrible case of man flu that even the Chinese tomato soup wasn't going to get through. And so Elliot very kindly offered to come onto the bench as a wing back. I know we talk about Mr Dependable, potentially being in the front row. Here we've got Elliot potentially being in the back line.
That boy, really. Yeah.
So well done, Elliot, offering to support the team. I mean, he was one of the travelling.
Did Lizzie let him down gently, or just go, "No, Elliot, don't be an idiot"?
No, she looked at him and went, "So you want to be a wing back?" And he went, "Well." Yeah, it would have been interesting. It'd have flummoxed one or two people. Yes, so well done, Elliot. I'm with him all the way. Well done. I have to say, well done to. We do have to pick our Ladies Wot Pod Player of the match. Well done to Josh Kemeny, who, despite his yellow card,
he looked gutted. He looked so gutted about that.
He did. I thought he led the team very well. He was energetic. He was, he was leading from the front. So, well done, Josh. Welcome to the wacky world of European rugby.
Yeah, chuck him in on an easy one, why don't you?
Yes, exactly.
There's no extra rules or anything.
No. So, so well done, Josh. So who was our Ladies Wot Pod Player of the match? Well,
I've given it a lot of thought. I mean, I was tempted. I thought, poor old Mitch for being rotated and yellow carded.
So, you can't give it on a sympathy vote.
No. I mean, Hutch is pretty standout for me, just trying to run, stepping up for 10 and just just trying to run it, and I thought we did very well, and I'm so impressed with him as a player now. He doesn't have his mad moments like he used to have. He's very, very much more grounded. Such an elegant player, and so yeah, he's really, I think he's my suggestion. Do you have one, Mrs.
Well,
J?
I don't think we can avoid mentioning the Henry Pollock show.
Well, I know, but we can't give it to
we have to mention it, because just because Henry's good every week, we can't go, yeah, but you're good every week. That doesn't really strike me as fair, given his age.
Yeah, true, yeah. Very true. He was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yes. I'm sorry, Henry. I had actually just gone, well, no, you were just playing to the level we expect you to. You scored 2 tries. We're not even going to mention you. He was brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. And they didn't know what to do with him. And yeah, so, but I'm absolutely. Hutch took an awful lot of traffic as well from some very big forwards who went after him. He didn't shy away. So yeah, I'm with you. I would give it to Hutch for stepping up and doing actually a really good job. So well done, Hutch.
Yeah.
Now,
yes, well done, Hutch. Sgt Wilson Award, positive engagement. Award.
Yes. So Lis is continuing her campaign to be as radical as possible with this award, because she suggested that she's going to award it to herself.
Tempted. Very tempted. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
they bought us a bottle of red wine, so I'm not sure that's bribery in my eyes. Yeah, but don't normally go that way.
Sadly, we'd played the game, so that it didn't really work, did it? You know, the match had already happened.
How could they bribe me? How could they bribe me? Well, I've made no difference to the game.
Yeah, but they know that would impact on the likes of Curtis, you know.
Well, poor Curtis, it wasn't a good weekend. Had to break it to him gently. Well, I didn't actually. Fergs actually broke it to him quite brutally that there were no pikelets. You can't have pikelets in France, Curtis.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to make do with croissant. Anyway, but apart from my positive engagement, who else do we have in mind seriously for it?
Well, I think Josh had a game go. Hutch had a go. I think everybody tried to chat to him. He's one of the up-and-coming Irish referees, I learned from you.
I think so. Very much up-and-coming.
Yeah. I think it was one where... let's give it to you. Because I don't... Whatever we tried, it didn't work.
Not having a ref link, you can't hear the player interaction so well. I mean, Curtis, you're definitely not getting it because you're an idiot. Starting a fight so soon.
This match went round for another go. They just parted the two teams and off we went again. It's like, yes, not good.
So there wasn't anything obvious, but they were an entertaining crew, and they love coming to the gardens and looking forward to coming sometime again in the future, which would be nice. So
excellent. Well, we're glad that the gardens is a grand place to go. But as I say, I love the Stade Jean Bois. It was a bit random in parts, but to actually work there and take photos there.
It was one of the hardest grounds to get into. We had to walk all the way round to find our gate. And then when you got into the right gate, you then had to walk all the way almost back on yourself to get to where we were sitting. It was all very strange. I walked around that stadium several million times.
I did say it was strange. Now, here's your new Bessie mate.
That's my new Bessie mate. That's the accountant from Dublin on the
For those of you listening on Spotify, the accountant from Dublin is in the black and yellow strip. With quote a Coleman ball from a few years ago. Yes. As Henry is about to score. I do like the fact that there are just two bodies lying next to him as he's attempting to score the try. I just thought I'd share that one. As you can see, the colours are amazing. Nice light.
It's a very bright pink. Yeah.
So I got it wrong last week, as usual, because I said that Bedford would be playing Ampshill. No.
Yeah, no.
Went too soon. Bedford are playing Ampshill this week. But Loughborough went to Gloucester Hartpury.
Gloucester, yeah.
It's the current champions, and gave them a bit of a run for their money.
They did put up a good fight by all accounts.
Yeah. Blue, the American winger, scored 2 tries. And, sounds like it was a cracking game. So well done to the ladies. Giving the champions a good go. Meanwhile, Saracens clearly were smarting because they put over 100 points on whoever they were playing.
Oh, dear. Oof. Oof.
So I think Loughborough, it kind of shows how well Loughborough did. Yes.
Yeah.
And I do want to congratulate a fellow Tog. We have 18-year-old Maeve Blanco, who has been coming to the garden since she was yay high to a grasshopper, made her first game as an official Loughborough photographer working for Bobby Bridge, and was at Kingsholm. Not an easy ground to work at. I don't know what it's like for women's games, but for men's games, it's a tough old ground. The technology never works there. There's something weird going on. Anyway, but well done, Maeve, and more power to your elbow. We need more women photographers in the game. We do have one who regularly comes to the garden, the lovely Sylvie, who comes to mostly European games, and it's lovely to see her. She is a medic who also is a photographer. But well done, Maeve, and keep going, keep practicing. Yes, so the next game is on Sunday. So
Indeedy.
So I think we had a good weekend. What one thing and another. We all
cracking weekend. Absolutely cracking weekend. Yeah. It was, say, European trips are so special, aren't they? It's just
they are brilliant. They are utterly brilliant. And we got what we needed out of it. Saracens lost, so we're still in 4th place in the big league and all the rest of it. And that's all part of the fun, trying to work out, well, if they beat them and they beat them and they win there and even yes, marvellous.
It was much easier. The old system was much, much easier, though.
Ooh, yes and no. That last round of games was either dead or so complicated your brain hurts. Yeah.
No, it was much better than trying to,
How did Munster always get a home game in the last round of matches, group matches? How did that work? Because they always did. And they haven't this time because they're coming to us.
They're coming to us, yeah.
So all in all, a good weekend. A toaster under whatsits and whatsits.
There was no toaster. There was no toaster games at all. No. Everybody was frozen off basically. Which I think was the same for a lot of clubs.
Yeah, it was a chilly old weekend. But one thing and another.
Yeah.
But walking rugby.
I was back at walking rugby. I managed a quarter of an hour before I got a little twinge from my Achilles. That was about as much as my physio and I thought I should do, sort of 10 to 20 minutes. So that was really, really good. And we had 3 new peeps turn up.
Excellent.
So it's all good, all growing, all thoroughly enjoyable. So, so if you're free on a Thursday, 6 till 7 in the barn behind the stadium, come along to walking rugby. It's good
brilliant
fun.
No, it's great to hear it's on the up. In supporters club news, there's a lot going on in the land of the supporters, isn't there? There's something happening tomorrow.
Well, it's the season ticket holders forum tomorrow, isn't it? So it's a free pint of pints and chat.
Who don't live locally like me will be watching on the old YouTube with a glass of something. Dr. Jones will be being important on the parish council, so he won't be watching.
He won't be watching. So there's that, and then of course we've now got the fixtures for the times and kick-off times, the rest of the fixtures. So we will be putting on a coach down to Gloucester. So Sale is on a Friday. The game up at Sale is on a Friday night. and the game at Newcastle, which we wouldn't have done a bus for anyway, is likewise on a Friday night. So we won't be running buses. We won't be running a bus to Exeter because the take-up isn't good enough, and we can't subsidise it. So unfortunately, we'll be running one bus only for the rest of the season. And that's down to Gloucester.
Down to Gloucester, right? Which is the last match of the season.
Last match of the season, yeah. Kick off 3:05. Why 3:05? I don't know.
At TV.
All of them are at 3:05.
All of them at 3:05. All of them at 3:05. Yeah.
So yeah.
But talking of TV, one thing Premier Sports need to get sorted out is their blooming microphones. The ones they were using at the rec lake, I think they must have found them in a Christmas cracker. They were awful.
There's quite a lot it needs to get sorted out, really. The graphics and stuff are just all over. There's Brian Moore's articles about that today in the Telegraph. It's not good. The quality of what they're doing is not good. It's not doing the sport any favours. No, but they've only paid 3 and 6.
Topsy Ojo was being made to sit in a studio talking about Leinster and La Rochelle with 2 Irishmen, and I thought, and they had nothing to talk about. No,
it's not. They've got,
yeah.
I suppose to be fair, they came into the situation quite late, quite close to it all happening. They've had to drag people in from all over. I mean, one thing is lovely to hear the lovely Nick Heath commentating. But some of the others
he does it very, very well. Yeah, we've said this before. Nick is a class act, so it's great to hear the dulcet tones of Heath. But beyond that,
no,
not good. Needs to improve. B-, do better.
Yes, can do better.
Yeah.
See me after class. So,
yes. So this week is a big week.
Big week. Yeah.
A sellout crowd at the Gardens on Saturday. As Saints take on Munster. We go through these phases of playing them all the time.
Can I just hang on? Before that. Under Sevens festival in the barn.
Oh, yes. So, yes, Ben Lawrence contacted me earlier today saying, Claire, can you help us? So I will be wandering around with the camera stuck to my face in the barn. High Performance Centre. And
no, it's the Under Sevens festival. It'd definitely be like a barn. Definitely be like a barn.
So lots of kids running around, doing taggy related things. I'm hoping to see the International Man of Mystery in action.
He'll be there. He'll be there. Yeah.
And so, really looking forward to it. Under Sevens is one of my favourite tournaments. It's quite hard working in the barn because the lighting's not great.
No.
But I'm hoping that I get some good photos. So we'll be doing the Under Sevens festival. Should be a then
the second event.
The second event
against Munster
is against, I believe, the men's team will be playing Munster Rugby in the final group match at the Gardens. So it should be a belter of a game in a packed stadium. Sellout. So we'll see.
See who we've got back from injury.
See who we've got back. See who's managed to have the hot toddy, tomato soup, and get them off their sick bed, get them back out there. But either way, whoever we play at 10, it will be a cracking game.
Cracking game.
And if it's half as good as the one at Toman Park, which was just immense last.
Or the one in the 16 knockout bit.
16 knockout of that. Yes.
Yeah.
George with his yes.
Simon Zebo still having nightmares
about George.
Absolutely.
And James Ram. Do you remember James Ram had a really good day at the office in that game as well. Yeah. So there'll be one or two that were going, oh God, not him again. So it'd be interesting to see who we get back, but we're all very excited by it. The Battle of Bedfordshire will be happening at Goldington Road. Shame to miss it because it is usually a battle, and we'll see how the men in blue go. And I don't know where Loughborough anywhere. Oh yes, of course they're
playing on Sunday, aren't they?
They're playing on Sunday. Hopefully, I'll be there. They're playing. Ooh, I didn't know. Oh, my brain's gone. Who are they playing, Liz?
I don't know. I don't know.
She doesn't know. Anyway,
I don't know. There's a lot going on in my life.
It's emptied my brain. Hold on, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. I am really looking forward to this match because it is actually going to happen so that I can actually stay for the entire game, which I couldn't for the last one.
Yes, I'm looking forward
Exeter.
to it as well.
It was Exeter. I was going to say Exeter, but then I thought I doubted myself. Now, Exeter are coming off the back of a drubbing by Bristol Bears, who seem to have woken up again.
Oh, yes.
With their American star running people over. It's quite cruel watching her flatten people.
Jonah Lomu style, is it?
It was very Jonah Lomu style. So Exeter will be looking to get back on the horse. They're a very fine outfit, but it'd be good to see. You know, they've already downed Saracens. Let's see if they can get after Exeter now. And hopefully they'll be there with any luck. So, yeah, another packed...
I've just found it. Exeter, I've just found my ticket.
Oh, well done. You've got your ticket. Oh, thank God for that. Yes, because you and Dr. Jones are...
Yes.
Sit next to each other in those games. Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
So hopefully make it.
Yes, so it's at that time of the season where it's all crunch time. Every game's a big one.
Every game's a biggie, and we'll just carry on being there for them. Really.
Yeah, let's keep cheering the boys on. I can't remember an injury crisis like this for a while. We didn't have anything like this apart from our wingers weekend where we lost 3 wingers in a matter of moments. I can't believe we've ever
I've just thought in that 15 I didn't even put Ollie Slytome in there.
Oh yeah, no, Ollie and his hamstring. Yeah, no, he's in there. Yeah.
So, let's just hope that people have got over their cracking heads together. And are fit and other little tweaky things, and we know some of the long distance aren't going to be there, but let's just hope the tweaky ones are in.
Oh, come on, it's 2 weeks. I mean, you know, don't be too pessimistic. It's 2 weeks, Liz. 2 weeks.
That's very true. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, couple of weeks. I need to be back a couple of weeks.
Yes. So it was lovely to see everybody. Thank you to everybody who came and said hello. And it was lovely to see those that travelled despite their progeny not actually playing. In fact, it was actually lovely to see lots of the players there.
With their families.
With their families, supporting the team. It's great that it's, you know, such a family club. And yes, I saw lots and lots of people saying hello and waving at me. I owe Peter Short, who used to be a photographer at the Crom. I owe him a photograph of him and his girlfriend. I've just remembered that. Sorry, Peter. I will be sending it to you. He waved frantically at me. In fact, he was really unsubtle. He put a post out on X. I wonder if Red Hat Photo will take a photograph of me like this, and showed one of him at Taman Park. It's like, how unsubtle is that, Peter? But I did see him, and I did take a photo of him. So, yes. So it was great to see everybody. Do spread the word about the pod, as Liz has been doing. She was wandering up and down that Eurostar. There must be people wondering who the hell's, you know.
I think we need cards, actually. We need cards for me to give out.
But it's great.
There's French people very confused, I tell you.
Yeah,
they were a bit confused anyway because they couldn't understand how everybody else on the train seemed to know each other. And then...
So, anyway, that was Ladies Wot Pod.
Ladies Wot Pod. Episode 56.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week for more fun.
Before we go, thank you to the man who was in the exercise class after the walking rugby who said how much he enjoyed the pod. So, and I'll hope to see you next week. Yeah. On that note, Cheers, folks.
Farewell,
Keep listening,
everybody.
keep watching. Speak to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.